Okay, welcome to Monkey Chatter.
Why do we always start these off laughing?
I don't know.
I don't know
It's
because we're
all
waiting for
right.
something.
I don't know. This is Michelle. Welcome to Monkey Chatter. This is Michelle, and I'm here with Amy and Lara, and we are going to talk about surviving the holidays. So I've been told this is going to air before Thanksgiving, so I guess we're going to bundle, Thanksgiving, pre-Christmas, Christmas, all under our holiday heading here.
Wait,
And
hasn't Christmas started already?
oh,
I feel
right.
like it started in
Oh
October.
my gosh. Yes. So there's the first thing I want to mention. What is up with that? I heard a commercial that had Christmas music the other day, and I had to look up to make sure I wasn't. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. So stop doing that. That's my first thing.
Stop it. I
So my
do
first
feel like
tip,
it starts earlier every year.
it's insanity. And there was oh, I know. There was an ad for Disney cruises. Book your Disney holiday cruise now. And no, just no, don't. Don't. Like, enjoy Halloween first and then maybe think about that stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, I just have to jump in because I swear it used to be like this unwritten law that you didn't advertise Christmas until after Halloween.
Right?
But I also had noticed like even Halloween got moved early because back in, I want to say mid-September, when we were in Kentucky having like 80s and maybe even close to 90s on some days, all of a sudden I started seeing stuff about Halloween and I'm like, can't we wait till October 1st at least? And then October 1st came and it was still really nice weather and people had pumpkins out like at the grocery stores. And I was like, okay, if you buy a pumpkin now and put it on your porch, it
It's
will
going to
be
rot.
rot in about 2 weeks.
You make a pumpkin pie.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Gross.
So I don't get
Yeah.
it. It's like every holiday, but I feel like officially the kickoff is supposed to be after Halloween for like, Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holiday season.
Yeah.
Festive is for the rest of us.
What do you think? I know you love Christmas. You're a big decorator.
I am a big decorator. And I'm a big decorator for fall too. I don't really do like the Halloween per se stuff, but
Mhm.
like big on fall. And I went the other week and I was like, well, one, I was very happy because the fall stuff was like all 70% off. So I was very happy about that. But like,
Because it's Christmas.
yeah, because it's Christmas.
Right, it's
But I
great.
was looking for like stuff and they were out of it. And I was like, well, it's October 1st. Like, how are you out of fall stuff? Wait, when was even the first official day of fall? Like,
Yeah, it was like September 22nd.
Right,
yeah, I'm like,
September 22nd, yeah.
people, we just started fall.
We're only a month in.
But I was very grateful for the discounts.
I bet you were. I know Amy is like, Lyra, have you ever been to Amy's house around any holiday?
I don't know if I've been there on
No,
the
you were there
holiday.
this
It was in the
summer.
summer, but I've seen pictures in, I believe you have a tree in every room. Is that what the rumor that I've heard?
Almost.
Or close to that.
Almost, yeah. There's a lot of them.
I love that.
Amy, there are some people who just do it well. Amy, you do it well.
Oh,
It looks so nice, and it's not like creepy overdone. Like you just walk in, you're like, oh, somebody likes
yeah.
the holiday. I have such a
Yeah.
love-hate relationship with the holidays, so in any given year, like we'll have nothing. Like you can't even tell there's a holiday. And then some years I do, really get into it. But I definitely have a sketchy relationship with the holidays. My survival tips really vary. Like sometimes it's just ignore.
Yeah.
Well, let's dig into that because I'm curious about how I think most people probably have very mixed emotions when it comes to the holiday season. So tell us more, Michelle. I want to hear.
Say more.
How
That's
that-
Michelle's
Say
thing.
more.
Say more.
Say more. All the little coachy things. So I always, when I was single, and didn't live at home anymore and used to come home for the holidays, now that I could really dig. Like that was so awesome because I live, especially the years I lived in Arizona, and then I would fly back to the East Coast for the holidays.
Mm.
So that was amazing, just you show up with your gifts and everybody's happy to see you and you're like the center of attention and you don't have to do anything other than show up and you bring the party. Um, like, do you remember those years? Like that was, back when I drank a little more and like it just was fun, right? You go out and yeah. So I was a big like, yay, love the holiday girl. And then it gets a little more complicated as you get older and you get married and you've got in-laws and those traditions and then your own family. And over the years, it just got more and more stressful. It's I'm like, this is no fun anymore, like this is just a lot of work and a lot of like trying to, okay, what is the right thing to do? Who gift wise got more complicated as we got older, and my mom always tried to do sort of fun, unusual things as we got older. And so that was kind of fun. I remember one year, okay, this is a great story. I got to share the story. One year, I guess she decided she just wasn't going to cook or anything. She didn't tell us that though. So like we all show up as normal at her house and she's got appetizers and stuff out, which was the normal thing. Like you'd come in, but there was no turkey cooking. There was nothing in the oven. It was a little like, okay, what's happening? And so just about the time we're like, all right, this is really weird, a limo pulls into our driveway and she's like, okay, everybody get in the limo. So it was like the whole family gets in the limo. We drive around to some of our relatives. She's making us sing and do the caroling thing. We're all still thinking, what is going to go on with dinner? Like, it's getting later. There's no food. And so we ended up going to a Chinese buffet for dinner. That was the dinner plan. And that
Did you
was
sing
just
"Wah wah
one,
wah wah wah"
what you
whenever,
mean?
like the Christmas story?
A Christmas story.
Oh my gosh. It was
Wah.
so I do have to say that was one of the most memorable Christmases. And there was a bit of confusion before it all worked out just fine and it was really fun. And I think she really got a kick out of it. And
I think that's
yeah,
hysterical. And I
yeah.
love that she didn't ask opinions because
Oh
it would have
no.
been a whole mixed bag.
Yeah, there was
She was just like, this is what we're doing.
yeah, like seriously, I was really proud of her because she wasn't very good at keeping secrets. Like that's not her thing. And we really had no idea. We kind of got there and we're like, huh, this is unusual.
That could actually be a really good tip for somebody. Is like, hey, don't ask everybody's opinion. If you're the host and you don't want to be stressed, do what makes sense and make it fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
Know that I'm all about like stories versus things. And I feel like the older I get, I was just talking about this, like I am in such a purge mode of like just getting rid of stuff. So I'm definitely, yeah. And look, you're still telling stories. If she'd have got you a sweater, it probably would have been at Goodwill by now.
I know. Like, it's very rare that you remember a present, a thing. It's usually that we remember experiences or, like who was there, what we did, not what we got as a present. And you're right. And it's stressful sometimes. Like, and aside from having kids, like you guys don't have the kids, but when we were like with little kids, you feel this pressure to make it like everybody's even. Like if you have 3 presents, that one has to have 3 presents.
I hate that. Amy, you are cracking up. Okay,
I
what are
know.
you
What is
thinking
it
about?
so funny to
I
Amy?
know. We're like, all
Amy's
right,
laughing really hard.
tell us about you have to have one.
It just struck a chord with speaking of like memories from Christmas versus like things. I can't even believe I'm gonna tell this. I'm gonna tell this story to like, you know, the public. But so one year my parents septic system, you know, because they're on septic, they're in the middle of nowhere. And their septic system backed up on Christmas Day. And so if you guys have seen the Christmas Vacation
Oh my gosh.
thing with like the shitters full, we were gonna get t-shirts made with the shitters full because that was that entire Christmas. Like literally my husband, my dad, my brother were digging up the sewer and cleaning out sewer pipes on Christmas
Oh
Day.
no, that's funny.
One that
But
you will
we
never
definitely
forget.
remember that.
Mhm.
And then one year, I don't know if my sister-in-law listens to this or not, but one year my sister-in-law got hammered drunk and she does not drink. So, okay, so not to be like womp womp Debbie Downer, but my sister had passed away on December 7th. And so we were like, oh man, Christmas is going to suck this year. No, my sister-in-law like kept us all entertained because she definitely had a little too much wine and she missed Christmas dinner and my nephew like went up to check on her. Oh my gosh. That is definitely I'm like, sorry, Amy. Her name is Amy also, if she's listening to this. Yeah. 2 hysterical Christmases that we had.
Oh, that's
So
no. I don't think I have any like really funny Christmas stories, but
oh man.
I got a few.
when I was
Yeah.
married though, I was married to a Jewish man, my ex-husband, David. Shout out to David if you ever listen. I don't know if you do or not, but we're good friends still. And the kids may listen or may not. But we tried really hard to expose our kids to both religions. So of course I was raised Catholic, not of course, but I was raised Catholic. And so I celebrated Christmas and he was raised in Judaism and he celebrated Hanukkah, but I don't know how many people know this, but Hanukkah is not equal to Christmas when it comes to importance on the religious calendar for Jews. It's just not. Like it's only the reason that it's so close to Christmas. Not the reason, but the fact that it is so close to Christmas makes it it gets caught up in all the commercialism. So therefore, like when you have kids, you kind of have to like do the 8 days. Like, yeah, when kids are little, you do the 8 days of presents and all that. And then we did regular Christmas, but it's actually not the most important religious holiday for Jewish people at all. So we kind of had to navigate that a little bit. And then like the first few years we were married, it was like we had like Christmas lights and the tree and then like the menorah in the window and then like a lot of blue and silver seemed to be tied up in Hanukkah somehow. So I'm like, this is clashing with my Christmas vibe. Like, how do we balance this out? But looking back, like none of that's even important. Just the fact that we celebrated both and had fun with it, and the kids got exposed to both. And you know, one kid decided to be Jewish and the other kid didn't, and it's like there we go, 50-50. Like that's how it works. So yeah, I always share the Jewish holidays like with my daughter, and you know, I try to remember to send, you know, happy Rosh Hashanah and, you know, Yom Kippur and all the others. So the holidays for me wrapped up with, you know, all of those things plus Thanksgiving, and then we had to decide whose family to go to for Thanksgiving, and you know, it could be a little stressful from time to time. A good couple glasses of wine never hurt anybody at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
I think that was my sister-in-law's plan. Yeah.
She's like, this is
again,
sad. We're having stress. I'm going to drink.
Because she's normally not a drinker. Like, I mean, she might have a little drink, but she's definitely not one to get to get hammered drunk and miss Christmas dinner because she's laying in bed.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Now I've had a few New Year's Eve parties where I did, Irish exit and just went to bed with people in our house.
Oh,
Go ahead. Yeah.
Where's Lara? Yeah.
buddy.
So what are your we know it's stressful. The media makes it stressful because everybody promotes, and as parents it's stressful because you have to get your kids all the stuff. We stopped doing big present stuff when our kids got older, and we stopped it with our other family too, and like with my dad's side of the family, and he's still very healthy and spry, and he and his wife meet us and my sister and the kids. We do a little get together, a family get together in January, when there's
Nice.
not anything else to do, and so we don't exchange presents. So that's what we do now to celebrate holidays, which is really lovely. Takes all the pressure off, other than the phone call on Christmas and Thanksgiving. If we can get together with family, we do, but it's not as much pressure as you get older and have less family. But yeah, other than I get my kids a few things, or their dad and I will go in together if they, ask for something a little special or big that they don't want to spend their own money on. But, when they get to this age, mine are 23 and 26, and, they buy their own shit when they want it. Yay!
You're gonna have to check the expletive marks on this one again.
Oh yeah, you're right. We already said shit.
I know. I already said.
Yeah, which is kind of cool that they do and that they're supporting themselves and can do that. But it's also gosh, what are we going to get them? They don't need money anymore, and they don't need a lot of things. So, maybe kittens this year.
That's our family. And that was going to be my number one tip for Christmas is just ditch the presents. And I get it. People that have little kids, it's probably, a little harder to do. But yeah, I am definitely all about when we decided to just ditch the presents, it just was so I mean, we would still get together for, Christmas dinner and all of that stuff. But yeah, just ditch the presents, just hang out. And for several years, we did different things where we essentially took the money that we would spend on gifts and we did so as a little family project, we did blankets for Project Linus, where for the kids in the hospitals. So we made the little fleecy tie together blankets and stuff. One year we did boxes for soldiers. So we did toothpaste, toothbrushes, all that stuff to send over. I'm trying to think. I feel like we did one other thing and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, doing that was so much. But now we unfortunately don't really do anything. But still no presents, and it's freaking amazing because I'm we don't need anything. I'm the baby of the family. I'm 46 years old. If I want something, I'll just go buy it, And we were just buying crap to buy crap, and it was just stupid.
Yeah, I think that is such great advice, and if you're right, it's kind of almost like a habit. We just feel the need, and everywhere you go, it's gift this, gift that. And I will say, as a small business owner, yay, come and spend your money. Yeah. But then again, I have noticed, because what we offer is experiential and wellness experience and health and all that, gift certificates for experiences are getting really popular. And if you are going to spend money on something, it's a nice way to go to gift somebody some kind of wellness, or some kind of a massage, or maybe well, this is weird, but my sister and I got my dad a gift certificate to this nail salon where he goes and gets a pedicure. Oh, he's gonna be embarrassed now, but it's good. Listen? It's healthy. It's good for his feet, and he has this favorite person that he wants to do his feet there, and so we called the salon and got a gift certificate for him to go do that. So, but there's so many things. There's so many interesting experiences out there that you can do things for people to go experience, whether it's a wine tasting, or a salt cave, or a massage, or a facial. There's so many cool things that people might not spend that money on themselves, but hopefully they use a gift certificate. But
And then
yeah,
it's
I
not
think the
clutter
less
in
is
their
more.
house. Yeah.
But what was that?
I just said, and then it's not like clutter in their house.
Yes,
Like,
it's not something on the shelf that's collecting dust.
yeah. I'm
Right.
definitely like in clean out mode.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. So I wonder too about like maybe like less media is better around the holidays, because again, like it's pushy. It's like in your face all the time. I feel like that's all you hear about is like the holidays, the holidays, the holidays. And I'm guilty of it too. Like I promote it that way too, because everybody's thinking about it, you know. Once we hit November, which, you know, November, we're here now, like with this podcast, we're in it.
Yeah.
We're in the holiday season.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So no presents. I think we all kind of agree on that.
Yeah, I think no or fewer or less is more. I think that's a really good one. Yeah.
More personal
and experiences over things, right?
Yeah, experiences over things. That's a really good one.
Hi, your kitty.
Oh.
Yeah, my kitty. My kitty cat's
Yay.
in the
Kitty,
way.
kitty.
He's purring. And trying to get off my lap because he really wants to walk on top of the computer. Sorry for that little sidebar there. So, okay, you mentioned about doing gift boxes for the military. So, like, that brought me to another thing that I've only done once, and it was a Thanksgiving many years ago that I went and helped out. You know, like I was helping with, it was after a hurricane in another state, and it was many, many years ago. But volunteering is another thing. And I really wish I had done this when my kids were living at home and they were younger. But I've heard of people who will take their kids to, you know, like a food shelter or a soup line, or I don't know what you call that, but you know, where they're serving others, like the day of or the day before or something like that. And that's something I find really neat. And there's a lot of opportunities. It's unfortunately they're grown now and they have to do that on their own if they want to do it, but maybe I could surprise them with a limo. No, I'm kidding. And the limo can drop us at the soup kitchen. Yeah. No, that would be bad. But yeah, that would be kind of neat to do before and then come back and, you know, have a family celebration or dinner or something.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so what do you guys think about the kind of holiday stress that is created by family members and differing views and differing personalities? Like, I'm sure we've all experienced that at some point, and without, you know, naming anybody or going into details, like what do you guys think the best way to combat that stuff is, or to deal with it, I guess is a better way to say it.
You know, I've always been sort of the like the one who might have a dissenting opinion, right? In my little family pod, let's just leave it at that. and there definitely came a point where I got really intentional about not taking the bait, right? Like I really got intentional about it. And I think if you know, and maybe it's a certain level of maturity, right? Because, you know, as you get older, those things, it just takes on a little different feel. And if your intention is to sort of go and enjoy your family, right, is kind of the whole idea, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. If you're going to take the time to go spend it with your family, if that's your choice, I think most of us don't want to have that become. I'm looking at Lara. What are you doing?
I know. So I'm like, what are you doing?
I can't hear you now.
I know, she's unplugged. Did your cat unplug your headphones?
Yeah. There we go.
He pulled my headphones off. So I couldn't talk. So, yeah, but I'm listening and I totally,
I think just being more intentional about what, you know, why are you really there, right? You're not there to debate or just like that's not what the thing is about, right? You're there
Yeah.
to kinda so and sometimes that's hard, right? I mean, sometimes you're just like, "Oh my god." But, yeah. So that has really helped me, like, just intentionally deciding regardless of how I might feel about something somebody else says, especially when you mix liberally with alcohol. Like, back in the day when we were all drinking, like, my whole like, everybody's, yeah, that just is never a good combination.
Yeah, alcohol and holidays don't seem that really don't mix that well.
Well,
Family,
that was gonna be my
yeah,
advice.
yeah,
It's
don't
like,
Drink
drink,
more.
right? Drink more, yeah, drink more and pass out, or, don't drink at all, and,
mine was gonna
don't
be
burn up
like
the
running, dogs, and alcohol. That's how you do it.
room. Like, leave the setting, right? Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I have to step out." Like, go for a walk, right? Like,
Yeah.
get out, when it get out when it gets too crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think I liked your comment, Michelle, about being intentional and not focusing on the differences or not focusing on, the fact that, Uncle Joe over here is, a screaming whatever. And,
Yeah.
you
Right?
know, and I think, like I have this conversation with my son a lot because he's more outspoken and his grandfather's definitely got different views on a lot of things. And I'm like, you just have to, you don't need to bring that up.
You don't
Like, you're not going to convince or change anybody's mind over the holidays. That's the way I look at it. Like, I think when you're younger, you do have that feeling like you need to help change their mind because it's
right?
for their own good.
Then you finally realize, "Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get
that
older,
was not
it's
my
just
Yeah.
job. This
You
is
do
not your
not
you.
job.
no,
Yeah.
You
not
can
my
still
job."
love somebody and you can still enjoy their company even
Yeah.
if they don't share all of your views.
Yeah. It's so true, so true, and, my mom was one of 11 children, so I had,
Oof.
11 well, 10 sets of aunts and uncles, and we used to have really big family, like, Thanksgivings, like, where, the you have so many people that you're making tables out of sawhorses and plywood, like, I remember one Thanksgiving where, yeah, that was crazy making, but, yeah, so when you mix all those folks together with a couple of cocktails and yeah, I think it's a really good idea to go outside and go for a walk or, yeah, change the subject. I think you get super good at changing the subject, right?
Yeah.
Like there are ways to do that gracefully. So, but I can really appreciate your son, Lara, because I was kind of that person when I was in my, 30s,
Late
late 20s,
50s.
early
No.
30s. Yeah, still a little kind of, yeah. But, yeah, when I was younger, yeah.
Yeah.
It just is not yeah, you just kinda have to
I
take a
know.
breath.
And I like that idea. Like sometimes you need to just like change the subject. And,
Yeah.
one thing I like about, like, we don't have a big family. So I like when we do have all of us together. It's just not that many people, but I love the idea of a big family gathering. And I think when you have the generational differences, it's kind of neat too, because you can ask them things like, like open-ended questions. Like it's almost like we need to write some things down and like stick them down in our pocket
I
and
thought you were gonna say
then
in her bra.
or your bra.
Hang
And
on,
then
let me
yeah, like when
see,
things get a
grandma.
little awkward or contentious, then you'd be like, pull this thing out of your pocket and be like, so dad, like tell me about the first job you ever had as a teenager.
Great question, right? That's a great question, right?
I mean, I
Oh,
just think that's the way to go sometimes when you have these big generational gaps is, you know, let the kids hear what kind of differences there were growing up, and maybe they might have a different perspective about why the older people think the way they do or act the way they do. Or
That's such a great idea, Lara. I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
So we need a little book. Maybe there is one, but if not, it would be a good little business thing to like create a little like family gathering, a family holiday gathering book of
Survival
questions.
guide? No.
Survival guide. Yeah.
And in there would be the
Yeah.
I think it's Martha Beck who has what is it called? I'll have to look for it. It's something like a holiday family bingo card.
Yeah, I love that idea.
I'll find it and send it over to you guys.
So
Maybe
there's another good thing that you can do that takes the focus off of differences.
Play a game.
Play games. I mean, I honestly love playing games when we do family gathering. Like we've played everything from apples to Cards Against Humanity, which is very funny to play with older people.
Awkward.
Yeah. But I think games are a great way to get family laughing together, and laughing's contagious and it's super good for you. So
you guys ever done the Saran Wrap ball?
Oh, I do one of those for my niece every year. Yeah.
Wait, a Saran Wrap ball?
You do yours. Yeah.
This sounds very bad for the environment.
Probably.
Oh, Larry. Yeah, it is. Now you gotta make me like it's recycled Saran Wrap.
We use it after we use it. Yeah.
What is it?
Like, so I do one of these for my niece every year. So you take like, I don't know, like I'll put change in it and like all these random. So I do it like as part of her present, not as like the game. Like I've seen where people will play it as a game.
That's what we do.
But like I do it as like part of her present. So like you put stuff, like I'll put like, so in the center will usually be like a larger sum of money. And then like, but on the outside, it's like, you know, a piece of gum and a penny and like, but she has to go through all this Saran Wrap to and unball it and stuff to get to the center of it. But
I've never heard of this.
Really?
No, yeah. Although we've done something kind of like that.
Environmentally friendly.
I don't know. I mean, not when I was a kid, but we used to wrap like a small thing and put it in a little box and then another box and then another box and then down in a bag. You know, like we've done that, but Saran Wrap is new to me.
Well, we do the same thing. So my mom would make it up, and she had this little silly putty egg that she had from wherever, and that's where she put the big money in, right? So that was the center. That was the center of the Saran Wrap ball. And then she would start wrapping the Saran Wrap, and she would do, just like Amy's saying, like she'd do coins and like candy and nail polish and just like all these random crazy things. And then I think I'm remembering this correctly, but we had a timer. And so you would pass it around to each person, and they unwrapped until the buzzer went off, and they got to keep whatever they unwrapped. And so you wanted to be the last one because you wanted the big egg full of money, right? Like that was
that's funny. So you make it a game.
Yeah. We used to play, man, my mom really put some work into this. Thinking about it now, I'm like, wow. We always had a game or something like that we would play. One year she made so I have two brothers who are one's only a year younger than I am, and the other one I think is 5 years younger than I am, and Bill, of course, my husband. And so one year, whatever game she was playing or made us play, you had to put on certain items of clothing, and she had all these dresses and all this crazy stuff from the thrift shop, right? Oh my gosh, she made the boys like dress up in these dresses with these boas and hats, and we have some really good pictures from that. I'm gonna have to find that.
That's a fun game too.
Yeah, like you drew a card and you had to do put on whatever the card told you to put on or whatever. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh man.
So how did you win?
I can't remember.
Huh.
I don't honestly, it was just so funny watching the boys dress, and I remember that particular situation. Trying to think. She made them walk like a model or something. I remember my brother Michael, who was like I don't know, the most unmodel type that you could possibly imagine. I remember him sashaying around with his little dress.
So
So funny.
I think games are like a really good survival tip then. Play some games.
Definitely distracted us.
And
Yeah.
especially the homemade ones. They sound like the best kind.
Yeah, she was good. She was good at that. Now it's like, honestly, I don't know what we're gonna do this year. Yeah. I was like, huh, yeah. I haven't decided if I'm in we're not having Christmas at all mode or if we're gonna it's a little too soon for me
Yeah.
to pick up on the vibe, like what's really gonna be happening. Yeah. Amy, when do you start decorating?
I generally will decorate for Christmas generally the weekend before Thanksgiving because we always go up to my parents for Thanksgiving. So I do their house then like the weekend after Thanksgiving. So I think that will be the key plan. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what we're doing this year for the holidays. So we'll yeah.
So do you have artificial trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you couldn't put them up that early otherwise.
Yeah.
The little leaves
They're all fake.
Yeah. Well, especially if you have more than one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to decorate for Christmas, but I usually have to get through Thanksgiving. And I do like to decorate a little in the house, like not a ton, but like I have some Thanksgiving. I have fall, like you said, Amy. I like to decorate for fall, and then I start transitioning into Thanksgiving, and then that transitions into Christmas. But I don't like it when the weather isn't conducive to feeling Christmassy.
When it doesn't match.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we've had some really warm winters the last, like off and on. Like we've had cold spells, but I want it to be cold. Like in the old days, it started when it was supposed to start, and it didn't get like 60 degrees in December.
In the olden days.
Days, yeah.
In the old days.
I do enjoy putting my Christmas lights up outside of my t-shirt though. Like,
yeah.
But then like once they're up, then I want it to snow.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And like now people, so kind of backing up to Halloween again, even though it's over by the time you hear this, but the thing I've noticed this year are people are using lights more for Halloween.
And like those big giant
blow up
things.
And they are everywhere. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about those.
The height of their house, giant.
Yes, there are several in our neighborhood.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when the kids were little, we never did those, but we did more like we'll hang ghosts and make a bigger deal of it. Now I'm just like, okay, I've got my fall flowers. I've got my wreath with little pumpkins on it. I've got a little ceramic pumpkin that I can put a candle in because I am not digging out all that pumpkin crap. It's just too much trouble. Yeah. But the little hanging candles, have you seen those? So they are supposed to be similar to what is in, we just talked about Harry Potter recently, but the Harry Potter movies where in the great like dining hall thing, they had these candles that were suspended up in the air and they just floating candles. So they sell them now, and I'm seeing them everywhere, at least around me, on people's front porches, and they have the same visual effect. They look like they're just floating in the air on their porch. They're really cool. And you can do them indoors too, but I think they have like a little, like a fishing line that hangs them. But they're kind of neat. And I'm like, oh, I might get into that next year. But you could even use them for Thanksgiving, and they'd be kind of cool to put over your dining table at Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lights are fun. There is something about lights.
Lights are fun. I do like lights. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, so again, back to the stress of holidays or holiday, trying to survive the holidays.
Christmas
part
lights.
of the stress are, decorating and Christmas lights. Seriously.
Yeah.
And you can pay companies to come and put lights on your house.
Yeah.
That was not a thing when I was growing up.
No.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing now.
Yeah, I have seen signs
come in,
that say Christmas light, house outside Christmas lighting, call this number.
Brilliant. I have
Interesting.
to
I know, and
say.
I kind of want to call it and be like, how much?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Can you do my lights?
Yeah.
Because
And then do
Christmas
you take
lights
them
are
down? Like, because that would be the big part.
I
Because
think, yeah, they should, because we don't want to be that one family.
no, with the lights up, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
April.
Well, I
So
have to say, we have lights all year round on our porch. Although I did notice, like, I've got a string out, so clearly that needs to be addressed. But
Are they white?
they change colors. They're white. So
Oh,
yeah, and so you just click a button, and then they're green and red, or you can make them,
yes.
pastel colors. I'm like, yes. So you hang
So
them once. Yeah.
that is a survival tip there, because
Yes.
so now that you mention it, there's a house in our neighborhood that they had installed along their roof line. I guess they're LED lights, and they change. So, and
Mm.
obviously they can keep them off, or they
Yeah.
can make them different colors, but they stay up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I
pretty
love our lights.
brilliant.
Yeah, I love it in the summer when we turn them on and sit out on the porch and yeah.
Yeah.
So you put them up once, and then you
Yep.
just change the color.
Yeah. Although now I have a
Hmm.
string out, so I'm like,
Oh
gotta
yeah.
figure that out.
And you
Yeah.
have to recycle Christmas lights, by the way, I've learned.
Oh,
You
you
can't
do?
just,
I didn't
you're
know
not
that.
supposed to put them in the garbage.
Yeah.
Good to
So
know.
our city has
Like-
like days, special days where you can bring stuff like that and
Good to know.
Oh,
recycle
you can do
them.
them at like Lowe's and Home Depot too.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Container.
true.
Good.
So I think takedown or undecorating to me is stressful, because
See,
once
I
it's
always used to love that. Ugh.
undecorating,
Yes, because I couldn't
Mhm.
wait for, like, I always did it New Year's Day, or the day after, somewhere like right in there. It must have been New Year's Day. That was the thing I did on New Year's Day.
I like to do it that time frame around New Year's Day
Mm.
or close to it, but I kind of feel like every year I dread it more and more, because
Oh,
it's just a mess, and I'm the only one doing it because there's no kids here after Christmas. I can't like go, hey, come help me wrap all these things and put them away, and so yeah, that part I don't like as much, but yeah, I don't
kind of
know.
always made that a little ritual because I love New Year's so much, like, and not like New Year's Eve, like the party and all of that, but I love the whole idea
Like a
of the
fresh
new
start.
year. Yeah, like that's always been one of my favorite holidays. Like I love New Year's Eve now that I just stay home and Bill's usually asleep and I just enjoy like watching the ball drop and all of that. And when we had our cats, that was the best. It was just Perch and Buzz and I sitting on the couch. I'd uncork some champagne and we would hang out together and I'd burn some things I wanted to get rid of from the old year. That's a different topic. But anyway,
No,
yeah,
I like that.
so
I
then
think that is a good tip. That's it's a solid survival tip, because it's making that whole taking down and undecorating more of a ritual thing.
ritual. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try to focus that way this year. I'm gonna look at it as a ritual, like a fresh start. You're taking out the old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And even if I didn't get it all done, because, a lot of folks do like a New Year's Day dinner and like there are things to do on New Year's Day. So if you don't get it all done, it was something kind of nice to, I'd work on it a little bit in the morning with a little, breakfast or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Okay. I think
There
I'm
you
looking
go.
forward to
Try
it this
that.
year.
Try that. I'll
Okay,
text you
now
there and send you some takedown pictures for 2020.
yes, give
Yeah.
me some coaching tips, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Amy, this is definitely like at the top for me and probably a lot of people of holiday stressors, and that is eating.
I was
So
like,
like
why are we saying Amy?
No, because that's why, because Amy is the queen of eating tips, and like I like your view is not like, it's not like all or nothing. Like there's some nice, flexibility and gray area. And my problem is I feel like once I fall off the wagon of eating healthy,
Never mind, I'll start next year.
I'll just be like, forget it.
Yeah.
I'll have all the dairy and cheese and cookies and ice cream I want for the rest of the year. So please help us get through that.
Yeah, that's that's a whole topic, and we could. I usually do like the 12 tips of whatever. I feel like I do something like that pretty much every year on my bit by bit social stuff.
Oh, so follow bit by bit nutrition, because we're going to be looking for these 12 tips of Christmas or whatever.
Can you give
Christmas
us
eating.
like the top 2 or something?
Yeah, and I think I think it kind of depends on the person. Because like for some people it's it's the alcohol, and once you drink, well, of course alcohol has calories, and once you start that, then that just leads down the road to poor decision making with food choices.
Yep.
So I think it does depend on the person, but I think definitely the whole don't throw it all away. Like just because it's one meal, or one day or whatever, it like don't throw it all away. Like seriously, that's you figure you eat, we'll just say 21 meals a week. Even if you do an entire day, it's a very small percentage, and when you look at it like over your entire year, it's a super small percentage. So yeah, I always tell people not to get too hung up on it, and um and some of the other things again, and it really does depend on the individual person and kind of what the challenges are that they face. um but one of the things that I'll always encourage people to do is not like don't skip all the meals. Like if you're going to a Christmas party or something at night, like don't skip all your meals, because then you're just going to show up there
Starving.
ravenous and mow it all down.
That's
So
a
like
good point. Yeah.
eat something before you go. I'll always tell people, because a lot of times, let's face it, the parties that we are going to don't always have much in the way of healthy options. So like volunteer to take something along that that you can kind of fill up on a little bit, and then eat some cookies and cheese and alcohol and whatever, but it doesn't, like, your entire plate doesn't have to be that. So
Yeah, I like the idea of not feeling so pressured to like all or nothing. Like, so if you
yeah.
make them, if you have a bad day or a bad few days of eating, you can make up for it. You can have a couple of good days of eating and not worry so much.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you said, the percentage is small when you look at the whole year. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's
I
very
feel like one of the
thing.
things that I have changed up a little bit in the last couple years is I used to do what you were just talking about, Amy, where I'd be like, all right, well, we're going to such and such. I just won't eat breakfast or lunch. I'll have, and then
Yeah.
so I used to do that. And now because I feel like breakfast is one of those things I probably have the most control over, unless you're going to a brunch or something. I really try to eat something. It's something healthy, good for me, whatever, that is sort of a normal thing that I would eat in the morning. So I really try to be conscious about actually getting one normal meal in somewhere in the day, and sometimes, breakfast isn't it, and I'll have some, just eat something good at lunch, like a little salad with some tuna or whatever thrown on there. But I feel like that helps. At least I feel like, okay, well, I got through 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. It's a small
Yeah.
win. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I made it
Yeah.
through, and it's a small win. And I
And
love the
and
idea of eating
yeah.
something healthy before you go to a party.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's really smart. And drinking
Yeah.
water, right?
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
can chug
So
down a glass of
the
water
old
between that.
trick of for every alcoholic drink you drink one full glass of water. So if you have
Yeah.
one drink, you have a glass of water next. And it's supposedly you drink less overall, like less alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, because you're busy peeing.
Yes.
Right?
It
Like,
depends
there
on how
you
much
go.
alcohol you're drinking,
Yeah.
Amy. Are you getting your 8 ounces of water or your 8 glasses of water along
Yeah.
with 8 beers?
Man,
Yeah.
you're hydrated.
I'd be on the
Um,
floor.
yeah, and
But
like
yeah.
something else I would say is just like, especially if it's kind of like a buffet sort of thing, or like whatever, like get your plate of food, go eat it, and like then step away. Like,
Back away
don't
from the
stand
buffet.
there.
Trough, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't.
so at every party I go to, I swear, it's usually just like wandering around, you sit wherever you sit, and everybody's standing in the kitchen where the food is, within arm's
Yeah.
reach of the food.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm just gonna have one more of those, put that on my
Yeah.
plate.
That was
Yeah,
really
that's a
good.
good advice. That's a good advice.
Yeah, like get rid of your plate. So like,
Oh, that's
yeah.
a really good tip.
yeah.
So get your plate, walk away, eat
Yeah.
your plate, and then throw the plate away.
Yeah. As long as it's a paper plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. Good point.
Turn that over.
Don't be
Yeah.
breaking china at grandma's
Yeah,
house.
Yeah.
no. They don't like
Um,
that. Yeah.
But yeah, because it's just so much easier. Like if you're standing like right beside the table, it's just be like, oh. And I mean,
Yes.
I'm guilty of it too. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you're like,
And
oh,
let's
well,
face
it's
it,
really
some
good.
of that stuff is really tasty.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, it's all so good.
People are not putting out their worst items, you know?
No, and not usually the healthiest either.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the idea, Amy, of and I do this when we used to do our big family reunions, because that was just bad food on top. I mean, nobody brought anything healthy ever. And so I started like being the one who showed up with the salad. Like
Mhm.
I'd bring a
Yeah, so then you know
green,
there's something.
yeah,
You know?
I'm like, so I could fill up my plate with, and a nice, put lots of vegetables, really colorful.
Yeah.
But I always had some to take home because I was probably the only one eating it, right? Everybody else is like, dang, I'm going for the mac and cheese and the baked beans and the,
Yeah.
but
But at
like,
least you know there's something there that's healthy that you can eat, that you can
yeah,
fill up on, and then pick at the
yeah,
the other stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea too. And you could wander around with what you brought only on your plate and be like, I don't know who made this, but it's
this is
delicious.
so good, right? Like a 3-bean salad, that's always a pretty good one. Or a caprese salad, with that I like, because that always looks so pretty, and we always have fresh
does.
basil in the summer. But yeah,
Not at the holidays.
not at the
Yeah.
holidays. I do still have some basil right now, which is nice.
Yeah, I do too. It's a little weird this time of year. Of course, we're recording this about 2 weeks
October,
ahead,
yeah.
but still, it is
Yeah.
October here. So yeah, when this airs, it'll be, I think, 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, close to that, which is, less than 2 months from Christmas and New Year's and all. And that's what I feel like most people think of as the holiday season, is like from early November to January. It's just like all that, like, how are we going to get through all this? So, and I always have to throw it out there, lock yourself away and do a 10-minute meditation or breathe, or, go to your local salt cave, get your mind set. Like,
I was just
before
gonna
you
say
go.
that, Lara, right?
Yeah.
Like I think the one thing that is so helpful is to really take a minute, just like you said, before it all gets crazy. So like when you're listening to this but to take a minute and be like, all right, let me be intentional about this holiday season. What is it that's the most important thing for me, that when I hit January, I can look back and say, wow, that was really a nice holiday season. And it's different for everybody, right? For some people, it's getting a chance to have quality time with their family, right? For other people, maybe it is around the volunteering piece, or making sure that, I mean, if your faith is kind of, a big thing this time of year, how do I want to show up? Like, because really, truly, Christmas, Hanukkah, those things are faith-based, those holidays. And so how do I remember that? How am I going to honor that this season? I don't know. I just feel like if we could just take a breath before we start, shopping and cooking and running
shopping.
around and doing all that crap that we do, decorate all the things. How do I want to be? What do I want this holiday to feel like? Right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that just makes me kind of look forward to all of it. Like, I feel like I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to take my advice and Amy's
Yes.
advice. And before it gets too cray cray, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to visualize and manifest the kind of holiday season I want to have.
And when you were just talking about this, I can't believe I didn't think to bring this up before. But one of the traditions that we have started, the whole group of gym girls, we have started this. We've probably done it 5 years, 6 years. I don't know how many years it's been now. Where we go, we pick a random place, like usually it's some sort of diner or, a little cafe or something like that. And we do breakfast as a group. And there's usually like quite a lot of it. Usually, I don't know, 15 to 20 of us. And we, everybody pays $50, like regardless of how much your bill is. And then the waitress gets the
Oh,
tip.
I just got chills.
So yeah, I can't believe I didn't think about that. And that is such a cool, it's such a cool day. And like, obviously like kind of present him or her, with that. And I mean, like pretty much every year they cry.
Oh, I can imagine. I think that is one of the best things I've ever heard.
Yeah. So we, and it's usually, like I said, it's not we don't go to like a fancy restaurant. Like it's usually some sort of diner or something like that where, it's just a really cool experience.
No, I think we need to wrap up on that.
I do too. I think that might be the best tip of the whole podcast episode. I love that.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's very, but yeah, just, those people who are like in the service industry and
working during the holidays, boy.
Yeah. And not making a ton of money.
Yeah.
And again, because we're not going to any of the 5-star restaurants or anything like that. So it's a very cool experience. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
A lot of good takeaways. I'm excited about that. Well, yeah, and I guess we should wrap up because it's been almost an hour.
It's like an hour.
I can't believe it's that long on the subject.
We hadn't even planned
and if
what
you
we were
guys
talking about.
Listening have tips that you would like to share, please make comments on our social media or email us. That'd be great.
Yeah.
What's our email?
I feel like we do this every time.
I know, and I never quite remember how
3 monkeys wellness at gmail.com. 3 is spelled out.
3 monkeys wellness at gmail.com.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Ready?
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we doing the 1, 2, 3?
Happy holidays to everyone. And we're going to do it.
Okay. All right. Are we going to whisper? 1,
2,
3.
3. Monkey chatter, monkey chatter. Who you hang with matters. Wow. I think that was good.
Together, it was in slow motion.
But I think it was good.
Motion. Peace out.